My husband's family created a group chat for family events and left me out. When I asked my husband, he said it was just easier that way. I smiled and said, "You're right, separating things does make life easier." Hours later, he screamed as he realized what else I had separated. I've been married to my husband, let's call him Daniel, for almost 8 years. We live in Austin, Texas. His family is big on traditions. Barbecue Sundays, holiday trips, and random get-togethers just because someone felt like having people over. For a while, I thought they were a little over the top, but I played along. I made dishes for potlucks, babysat nieces and nephews, and spent hours in group settings listening to the same recycled family stories like they were stand-up comedy sets. I've always been polite, I've always contributed, but I've never really belonged. Over the years, it became pretty clear that no matter what I did, I wasn't one of them. I'm not sure if it's because I grew up out of state or because I don't share the same inside jokes they've had since middle school, but I always felt like I was just there. Barely noticed unless someone needed something. It was subtle at first. Inside jokes that I didn't get, group pictures taken without me even though I was standing right there, conversations that paused when I entered the room. You know that feeling you get when you realize people tolerate you but don't actually like you? Yeah, that. And then there was the group chat. I didn't even know it existed until a few weeks ago. It started with me asking Daniel what time his mom's birthday dinner was supposed to be. He looked up from his phone and said, "Didn't you see the messages in the group chat?" "What group chat?" I asked. He kind of froze, then he shrugged like it was nothing. "Oh, the family group chat. They made one a while ago. It's just easier that way." I just stood there processing, trying to keep my voice calm. "Easier for what exactly?" I asked. "You know," he said, "to keep it organized, less confusing. Too many people." But here's the thing, it wasn't too many people. It was the whole family, the siblings, the cousins, the in-laws, just not me. Not once, not ever. I asked, "So I've been left out of planning every single family event for months, and you thought that was fine?" "It's not personal," he said. "It's just how it is." I nodded, smiled, even got it. "You're right, separating things does make life easier." And I dropped it. Or at least that's what he thought. Here's what Daniel didn't know. 4 years, I've been the one quietly handling a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that kept his life running smoothly. We share a joint account and I manage most of the bills. I schedule the house repairs, I order groceries, I refill his prescriptions, and I make sure his mom gets flowers on Mother's Day because he always forgets. I clean up the messes, big and small, that he leaves behind. And I realized something in that moment. I don't have to do any of it. So while he laid on the couch that evening, scrolling through his family-only group chat, I made a few adjustments. First, I separated our bank accounts online, quick and easy. Everything that was mine went back into my name. Paychecks rerouted, savings secured. Next, I canceled the upcoming grocery order, deleted the meal plans, and tossed the to-do list. Then I went ahead and logged out of our shared calendar. All those little reminders for things like picking up dry cleaning, booking an oil change, and paying the electric bill gone. Poof! Best of luck, buddy. And while I was at it, I messaged his mom directly and politely informed her that I wouldn't be bringing my famous mac and cheese to the next family barbecue after all, since, I'm not part of the group. She left me on read. Of course, it didn't take long for Daniel to notice. A few hours later, I heard him in the kitchen. "Where's the grocery delivery?" I shrugged. "Oh, I figured since we're keeping things separate, I'd stop handling that stuff. You've got it, right?" First he thought I was joking. Then the notifications started hitting his phone. The bank alerts, the overdue bills, the calendar invites disappearing, the subscription renewals failing. And that's when he screamed, like actually yelled. "What the hell is going on?" I kept my face neutral. I thought it was easier this way because really, why should I be in charge of anything if I'm not even worth including? And this is just the beginning. Want me to keep going? Daniel didn't sleep that night. He paced the living room until 2 a.m., muttering to himself. I wasn't right upstairs, hearing every word. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of him slamming cabinet doors. I walked into the kitchen. The man looked like he hadn't blinked in hours. "We need to talk," he said. I just raised an eyebrow. "About what?" "About you making this weird. About the account, about the calendar, about everything. You can't just stop doing things." I shrugged. "But I can, and I did. It's easier this way." He ran his hands through his hair. Okay, but you're my wife. You're part of this house. You don't just quit. Oh, kind of like how I'm not part of the family group chat? Same idea. And I swear, watching him realize I wasn't backing down was the first time I'd seen him speechless in years. But it got worse for him that afternoon. I got a message from his sister. It was short, real short. Hey, Daniel says you're upset. Don't take the group chat so personally. It's just for planning stuff, nothing major. I didn't respond. I left her on read. Felt kind of good, not going to lie. An hour later, his mom messaged me. First time she'd reached out without needing me to bring a side dish or watch someone's kids. Let's not make this awkward for everyone. Hope to see you Sunday. Again left on read. Why waste my words? And then Daniel really lost it. Why are you ignoring them? He snapped. Why were they ignoring me? I fired back. Months of making plans behind my back, and suddenly I'm the problem for being quiet? Interesting. Isn't done. Digging his grave, 2 days later, he set up some kind of family mediation dinner. He didn't ask me if I was free, just announced it like I was part of the staff. We'll talk through this, he said. Everyone's coming over Friday. We can clear the air. I laughed out loud, couldn't help it. You think I'm hosting for people who don't even want me in the chat? Not happening. You're being dramatic, he said. Am I, or are you finally realizing that I was the glue holding your life together, and now you're watching it fall apart? The best part? I didn't cancel the dinner. I just didn't lift a finger. Friday came, his family showed up. No food, no clean house, nothing set up. I stayed in the bedroom with the door closed and let him deal with the chaos. Plates clattering, people whispering, doors opening and closing. I heard his mom say, "She's being difficult." Difficult? Me? Oh lady, you have no idea. But then came the twist I wasn't expecting. Saturday morning, I got a text from one of the other in-laws, the quiet one, his cousin's wife. Let's call her Sarah. It just said, "I'm sorry they did the same thing to me." And just like that, I wasn't alone. Turns out the group chat drama wasn't just about me. They'd been slowly pushing out anyone they didn't see as real family. Spouses, girlfriends, anyone who didn't share the same last name by birth. Daniel's family had a system. An invisible wall they built to keep outsiders out. But Sarah, she had receipts, screenshots, messages where they complained about me, about her, about others, how we were too sensitive and not a good fit. I sat there reading through the messages, my heart pounding. It wasn't just in my head. I hadn't been imagining it. All these years, they really didn't want me around, they just wanted me useful. So Sarah and I came up with a little plan, something small at first, quiet. We wouldn't make a scene, no big fight, no screaming match, just silence at the next family event. We wouldn't cook, we wouldn't clean, we wouldn't host, we wouldn't bring a single dish, and we wouldn't say a word. We'd show up, smile, sit down, and when people asked why there weren't enough chairs, why there wasn't enough food, why things were a mess, we'd just say, "Oh, we figured it was easier this way." But even better, Sarah told me something else. She said a few of the guys' brother-in-laws, boyfriends had noticed too. They felt it, the divide, and they were tired of pretending like everything was fine. The next gathering might look a little different, and Daniel, he has no idea what's coming. Because while he's busy freaking out about bills and groceries and a dinner party gone wrong, I'm sitting here realizing I'm not alone anymore. This isn't just my problem. It's our problem, and we're just getting started. Want me to keep going? So after Sarah and I compared notes, we started digging deeper. And that's when the real fun began. Turns out Sarah's been holding on to some stuff. She sent me screenshots that went way back, years worth of chat messages, stuff I never would have believed unless I saw it with my own eyes. They didn't just leave me out of the chat, they talked about me by name. Why does she always have to come to everything? Do we really need her dish this year? It's not that great. She doesn't really fit in with us. And the worst one was from Daniel's own sister. Honestly, I think Daniel's too good for her. I don't know why he stays. I sat there staring at that one for a long time. Too good for me? The same man who can't even remember to take out the trash without 3 reminders. Okay, that's when the switch really flipped. It wasn't just passive-aggressive nonsense anymore. This was straight-up disrespect. They'd been playing this game behind my back while smiling in my face, using me when it was convenient and mocking me the second I wasn't in the room. And Daniel? He knew. Maybe not every detail, but you don't stay that close to your phone all day, laughing, replying, and scrolling through a chat like that and not know what's being said. So I stopped playing nice. The next family event was a big one. His dad's retirement party. They rented out a whole venue downtown. Daniel was stressed out of his mind trying to coordinate things because, surprise, I wasn't helping. 2 days before the party, Sarah and I made our move. We reached out to the caterer and just asked a few polite questions. Turns out the deposit hadn't gone through. Guess whose job it was to handle that? Daniel. Guess who forgot? Daniel. And guess who wasn't checking the reminders anymore? Because I'd stopped managing the calendar? Daniel. So the caterer canceled the food. Gone. The venue still booked but empty tables, no dinner service, no drinks, and we just let it happen. The night of the party, Daniel was running around red-faced trying to figure out how to feed 60 people with 30 minutes notice. Meanwhile, Sarah and I sat in the corner sipping wine and watching the chaos. When his mom finally cornered me, hissing about why I hadn't fixed things, I just smiled. Oh, I'm not part of the group, remember? Wouldn't want to overstep. Daniel was sweating bullets. I swear he was seconds away from having a full-blown meltdown, running back and forth between his mom, his sister, and the venue manager. It was beautiful. But the real twist? It didn't end there. A few days later, Sarah let me know that one of the other wives, Natalie, had started asking questions. Turns out she'd been slowly pushed out of the group too. Same pattern. Less invite, less texts, fewer conversations, left out of plans. And Natalie? She's married to Daniel's brother. So now we've got a little alliance forming. 3 of us comparing notes, sharing screenshots. We're calling it the Outsiders Club just to make ourselves laugh, but it's turning into something bigger than that. Because here's what Daniel's family didn't count on. We talk, we notice patterns, we connect the dots they thought we'd ignore. And the more we looked, the more we realized this was bigger than a group chat. This was about control, about keeping the real family close and the rest of us useful but separate. Smiling, cooking, cleaning, showing up, but never really being let in. They wanted a family business? Cool, they can run it on their own. I'm done playing secretary for people who don't respect me. And Daniel, oh, Daniel's catching on now. The missed payments, the empty fridge, the overdue bills, the calendar reminders that don't exist anymore. And the best part, the Outsiders Club. We've started quietly pulling back from everything. Hosting? No. Cooking? No. Babysitting? Not anymore. Rides to the airport? Cancelled. We're ghosts at the events now, smiling, quiet, present, but only just enough to make it clear we see what they're doing and we're done pretending. Meanwhile, Daniel's getting desperate. He finally sat me down last night and said, "This is getting out of hand. My mom's asking what's wrong with you." And I just said, "Tell her I'm making life easier." That's when he looked at me like he was really seeing me for the first time, like he finally realized this wasn't some little tantrum I was throwing. This was me leaving the chat just like they left me out of theirs. But the real twist. Sarah found out that Daniel's sister has been complaining that no one steps up anymore, that events are falling apart, that the group feels off. And Daniel's sister's husband? Yeah, he's Team Outsiders now too. He told her straight to her face. Well, maybe you shouldn't have made everyone feel like crap. Now the cracks are starting to show in the group, in the family, in the perfect little image they spent years pretending was real. And me? I'm just getting started. Want me to keep going? The retirement party disaster should have been the wake-up call. But Daniel's family doesn't believe in facing problems. They believe in glossing over them with forced smiles, passive-aggressive comments, and pretending nothing's wrong. But not this time. Because 2 weeks later, Daniel's mom organized a family meeting, real official, at her house Sunday night. Full attendance required. Daniel told me we were going like it was just something on the calendar. I didn't argue, I wanted this. The whole ride there he kept saying, "Let's just keep it calm. They're worried. We can fix this." But I wasn't interested in fixing anything. I was interested in the truth. We walked into that living room, and it felt like a damn courtroom. Everyone was already sitting down. Tight smiles, arms crossed, fake concern dripping off them like cheap perfume. Daniel's mom started it off. "We're all family here. I think we need to clear the air." No one looked at me, they looked at Daniel like he was supposed to speak for me. So I did it myself. "Sure, let's clear it." Dead silence. I stood up, phone in hand, tapped the screen. I had Sarah's screenshots pulled up. All those messages from the group chat talking trash about me. Sarah and Natalie, the whole slow push-out plan they've been running. Like a hobby, I didn't shout. I didn't throw anything. I just read them out loud, one by one, line by line, and I watched the color drain from faces. Daniel's sister was white as a sheet. Daniel's mom had her jaw tight, blinking hard, like if she focused enough, maybe it wouldn't be happening. Is this what family means to you? I asked, talking about us like we're strangers in the street, laughing at us, using us. Daniel didn't say a word, just stared at the floor. Then Sarah chimed in from across the room. I've been sitting on this for years. Thought maybe I was crazy, thought maybe I wasn't trying hard enough. Turns out I was just being excluded on purpose. Natalie nodded, arms folded. Same. And that's when Daniel's sister snapped, loud, high-pitched, fake tears already welling up. This isn't fair. You're attacking us. It's not even like that. We were just venting. I tilted my head. Venting is saying you're annoyed someone's late to dinner. Daniel's too good for her isn't venting. That's cruelty. Daniel's mom cut in next. Okay. But you didn't have to air this out in front of everyone. I looked at her, really looked at her and said, you wanted to clear the air. I'm just following the agenda. Daniel finally opened his mouth. Then can we all just calm down? And that's when I laughed out loud, couldn't help it. Calm down? After months, years of this? After being left out of the family I've worked my ass off to support? After being used and disrespected like this? No, I don't think I will. It was like a switch flipped. Daniel's brother stood up. Actually, I'm with them. I'm sick of the way you all treat anyone who marries in. We're only family when it's convenient. Now the room was cracking. The perfect family image shattered on the floor. Daniel's sister started crying for real. Daniel's mom was pacing. His dad just rubbed his temples like he regretted ever retiring in the first place. And Daniel? Daniel just looked broken, like he'd finally realized how deep this all went, how long he'd been covering for them, how little he actually protected me from it. I didn't stay for the rest of the show. I picked up my bag, turned to Daniel and said, I'm driving home alone. Take whatever time you need to decide where you stand. And I left. Sarah and Natalie followed me out a few minutes later. No words, just tired looks and understanding nods. Later that night, Daniel came home. He didn't say anything at first, just sat on the edge of the bed like he was afraid I'd tell him to leave. Then he finally whispered, I'm sorry. But the thing is, sorry wasn't enough. I didn't know it was that bad, he said. I thought it was just easier if I didn't make waves. And that's when it hit me. That was the problem all along. Daniel never stood up for me. He just kept the peace, made excuses, smoothed things over, let me carry the weight so he wouldn't have to rock the boat. You let them treat me like I wasn't part of the family, I said. And you didn't stop them. You kept me separate. He nodded. I know. I see. I don't know how to fix it, and for once I didn't rush to make him feel better. Maybe you can't. Word got out, of course. The whole family knows about the confrontation. The group chat is dead. People left messages, stopped. No more weekend invites, no more family updates, no more pretending. Some tried to reach out later, small apologies, half-hearted excuses. We didn't realize you felt that way. We didn't mean to be exclusive. You know how family is. But I don't answer. I have nothing left to say to them. The weirdest part? It's kind of peaceful now. Quiet. Simple. Daniel's trying. I'll give him that. Therapy appointments, making his own dinner, remembering his own appointments, slowly learning how much I've been doing in the background while he coasted. But me? I'm just breathing for the first time in years. I'm not twisting myself in knots trying to belong somewhere I was never welcome. I'm not chasing approval from people who never planned to give it. I don't know what happens next. Maybe Daniel figures it out, maybe he doesn't. But either way, I'm done being the outsider in my own life. And I've got a whole new group chat now with Sarah and Natalie, and you better believe we fight everyone.